We expected the increased third wave is actually mid of April, basically from the imported cases. But for the slight increase to 218, normally we get about 140. This is because of our enhanced MCO. Once we are doing the enhanced MCO, we are screening the whole community in Kampong. For example, in Kampong Sungai Lui, there's 5 Kampong Melayu and 2 Kampong Orang Asli. And there's also Tafiz school in that area. So now, because we are doing the screening, we managed to pick up 41 Tafiz students in that area, and as well as in Tafiz student in Sri Taling, and both 41 cases been detected positive and admitted to the hospital. And that's the reason why we are doing active case detection, meaning we trace them, we test them, we isolate, as well as we treat them. In terms of the implementation of this MCO, we look into the first phase, that is 2 weeks ago. So how we implemented it, and we have it's a new experience for all of us. This is unprecedented in the history of public health. But more importantly, now today we are preparing for the worst, that is the mid-April. And this is also the prediction of World Health Organization, and also several authors have predicted the same. But what's more important is for us to enhance the MCO in the hotspot area. So now we try to detect the hotspot area, and if possible, we enhance. We also realize that we have green area. There's no cases at all. For example, longhouses, Orang Asli, Perkampungan Orang Asli. So they themselves, the community, empower themselves to take care of the longhouses as well as Perkampungan Orang Asli. So that has actually been encouraged because they protect their area so that the outsiders, for example, those have high risk, are not coming into their kampung. So this is something that we are looking into it seriously. For example, at Masjid India, so one block, there's actually a positive 17 cases in Masjid India. Today we have detected another one, 18 cases been found in the apartment. But if we can actually community empowerment to make sure that we are protecting the condo or in certain areas, that's how public empowerment can come in and protect the area to become green. So this is something that we think that we can enhance it further. And on the other hand, we are looking closely in the hotspot area. If there's an increase of cases, whether it's 10 or 20 or even 40 cases within a day, that is a sign for us to come in to enhance the MCO in that area. Because that shows that there's a virus transmission in that area. And also our lab capacity now, so we also depends on lab capacity. We have increased to 43 labs so far. We started only about 3,000 cases or 3,000 samples per day in 18 of our hospitals. Now, hospital, we have 12 hospitals plus another 2, that is Hospital Sibu and Hospital Queen Elizabeth, total about 14 cases. And then we have 1 IMR and 5 public health labs. So in total 20. We have 7 private labs, so 27. And we have 1 Malaysian Genomes Institute. We have 1 from Angkatan Tentera, and we have 14 labs from the university. So in total, up to date, we have 14 labs. But the capacity in the university, 14 labs, they have just started. So we give them a few days for them to increase the capacity we expect them to do about 2,000 or 3,000 cases in maybe next couple of days. So we can increase the capacity at least to 16,500 using the RT-PCR test. So that's important for us to use the RT-PCR test. And at the moment, we tried our best to verify the antigen test kit, but so far, we do not have any test that is actually have a high accuracy. So we hope that, we continue to test a few more test kits. If the accuracy is more than 75 to 80%, then that would be the best for us to use that. But now, I think the latest is only 56%. But having said that, what's more important, the question is, are we testing adequately for our population, our community? So this is a big question that's been asked. So we fall back on the WHO guideline saying that, if you test, if you are doing the test in the community and there's more positive cases be detected, that shows that there's a sign that there are many cases undetected in the community. So if, for example, if I'm doing 100 tests, 80 positive, that shows that in the community there are many more positive not detected. But the benchmark of WHO is that if you do 100 tests, then you can pick up 10 positive. That means 10%. If you have 10% positive, that is adequate in terms of the screening and testing for the community. So we stand at 7%. 7%, if we look into our census, whereby total tests that's been done to date is 45,378 tests that has been done. And our positive is 3,333. And that accounts for 7.3%. Then we do have pending cases about 7,000 tests that has not been verified yet, whether positive or negative. Now, if we minus the pending cases, that we stand at 9%. So 9% falls almost like 10% within the benchmark of WHO. So which means in our community, our testing is adequate. We do not expect to test 30 million of our population, but at least this is a sample that the guidelines given by WHO. If we test 10 tests, 1 positive, then that shows that we are within the benchmark of WHO. So beds-wise, we have certainly increased our beds over the last couple of days. Last year, if we look into our hospital for screening, we have increased to 71 screening hospital. Before that was only 69, plus the 2 university, UKM and UM. And we have 40 hospital, COVID hospital, of which Kementerian Kesihatan, 38, Hospital University 2, that is PPUM and PPUKM. And the beds, COVID hospital, I informed you, it was 5292 before. So today we have increased to 6921 in terms of the beds. And critical care beds are 410. And ICU ventilators, we have 634. Labs, we have 43 labs at the moment. I just explained earlier just now. And we also have a 7 Institute Latihan Kementerian Kesihatan for those positive but asymptomatic and those positive with mild symptom. So we have used only about 10%. The availability is 1,792 rooms. At the moment, we only use about 10%. So we still have the capacity there to increase to 19,000 rooms from our Institute Latihan Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia. Bulan Jawatan Kuasa Khas, this is the latest. Those mengenai warga negara Malaysia yang transit ke Sabah and Sarawak, for example. So they have a choice. Basically, if they are transit, then they have to go back to Sabah and Sarawak and then quarantine there 14 days. So only for Sabah and Sarawak, they will have to transit and goes back to Sabah and Kuching and KK, and then they'll be quarantined for 14 days. Otherwise, they'll be quarantined for 28 days. 14 days here and then go back to Kuching and then for another 14 days. So there's only 14 days. That is, they will allow them to transit in KLIA back to Sabah and Sarawak, and they'll be quarantined there for 14 days. But for the rest, they have to be quarantined here in Semenanjung. Yes, if you have, for example, you just return home from UK and etc., definitely you'll be quarantined for 14 days, beginning today. So today, basically we are making it compulsory for them to be quarantined, either in our institution or if they can afford, into the hotel.